Perhaps one of the most exciting bits of information that's happened over the last few months was the discovery that a group had put together a study of the most social companies in the United States. Not just media companies, but all companies. So Google and Apple and Amazon and others. And it was Net Prospects that did this study. And they ranked the companies based on the use of social media, not only officially by the company, but also by its employees. And when I saw this, to my delight, the New York Times was ranked number 1 as the most social media-focused company in the United States. And that to me is that really is a testament to the engagement that the journalists of the New York Times increasingly have, directly with their audiences. A New York Times story is tweeted every 4 seconds. As we move from a world that was driven by search to a world that's driven by social, is that kind of comfortableness in engaging with our audience and creating ways for them to come directly through us or to each other around us, and for us to go out to them. Our core purpose is to enhance society by creating, collecting, and distributing high-quality news and information. That's the reason we exist. We have more foreign bureaus today than ever in our history, more national bureaus in the United States than ever in our history. And as others in the media world are pulling back further and further, unfortunately, from the job of journalism, of reporting, of on-the-ground reporting, we're investing. And that's a critical part, but we also know that you have to engage the audience in a different, more embracing way. And some of our journalists actually use various social media to actually help report the story. In other words, they'll put out a question. Chris Chivers is one of our journalists who's been in war-torn Afghanistan and Iraq, just very tough places. And he will actually use Tumblr and Twitter to say to people, okay, here's what I've just found. Help me identify this. That's engaging the audience for the cause of journalism. Then he'll do a story based on not just what he heard, of course, but what he has seen firsthand, what he's learned by going to experts, and what he's learned by reaching out to other people. We are in the midst of rethinking our opinion section on the web. We've done some of it in print already. Right now, at the New York Times, if you want to comment, post it on our website. We have humans who say, okay, that comment adds value, and we will put it up. In a little while, when we've got this new system in place, we will have trusted commenters who can post automatically. And people will be able to earn the right by the thoughtfulness, by the honesty, by giving their real names, things like that. So we put into place 6-9 months ago now a digital subscription plan. That's right now you can get 20 stories free on the web every month. But if you want more than that, you have to subscribe, and you can subscribe in a variety of different ways. So far we have 1.2 million people who have signed up or are sponsored. I think it was 1996 that we launched the New York Times on the web. I think that was its first name. So Martin Nissenholtz, the godfather of New York Times on the web, as we were originally called, is retiring at the end of 2011. In fact, we're throwing a party for him, and I've got a beautiful gift for him. I found a 1922 New York Times typewriter, and I put a little plaque on the back for Martin from all of his colleagues, saying that what's important is the New York Times on any device. But Martin really helped drive our digital vision. And what happened was that our journalists began to discover that their being on the web enhanced their ability to perform their mission, to inform society. And as soon as they discovered the vastness of that new audience, they embraced it. Because at the end of the day, journalists are mission-driven. I was in China a few months ago. I was meeting with 2 Chinese generals from the People's Liberation Army. And one of them, a woman, interestingly, was upset because she said that every morning she would wake up and she'd go to nytimes.com to see what had happened in the world. And now that we put in our digital paywall, she was having trouble because it wasn't accepting her credit card. We took care of the problem. But a Chinese general was going to the New York Times every morning to get information. When I first was in China in 1978, that was not happening. This is the power of this medium that has expanded our vision, expanded our scope, expanded the possibilities for us all to really allow quality news and quality information to be available to everybody.